If you watched any of our scurrilous local news media over the weekend, you would have seen live wall-to-wall coverage of David Mabuza, the former Deputy President of South Africa, replete with footage of his bloated family driving out of a walled mansion in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg in G-Wagons and other such spoils of corruption. So this man, David Mabuza, while everybody else is busy eulogizing him and saying he may have been poisoned, was, of course, an infamous member of the Premier League. He was involved in the Mpumalanga land scam, the Fred Daniels saga. He was the guy involved in the OUTA criminal complaint with the National Prosecuting Authority, which was upheld. There were allegations throughout his tenure as deputy president of political violence and assassinations. You may not remember the names, but I'll tell you anyway, because they're dead and they died mysteriously. Jimmy Mohlala, who was a speaker of the Mbombela municipality back in 2009. A guy called Sammy Mpatlanyane, who was a government official in 2010. Most cited examples, and David Mabuza, although he was never found criminally guilty of those things, was the main man supposedly involved in at least some skullduggery behind those disappearances. The farmhouse theft, which you may recall a large sum of cash was stolen from his property, sounds a lot like our current president, sums as high as 14 million rand in cash. That's what people are reporting and still have been reporting since then. The incident and subsequent questions are factual. Nobody really resolved them. There was the matric results scandal in Mpumalanga, which continues to haunt people who thought they were getting a degree, a qualification that was worth something. The Premier League and state capture, he was, of course, one of the people who was fingered as being in the faction of the Premier League and having been involved in the very deepest levels of state capture. So when people say nice things about someone just because they've gone, I think they're usually hypocrites. But you can make your own mind up. I am not sad about the passing of David Mabuza, and I think that this country deserves better leaders than that. I don't think there's anyone you'll find in South Africa who can tell you a good thing he did for anybody but himself and his extended family. But if you could prove me wrong, please do. Gareth Cliff for the Truth Report.